Welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name is Jenny Senapataratna. Grab your favorite drink, get yourself a snack, and we will get started. Today I have blonde butterscotch tea. Butterscotch blondie tea. Okay, that's what it is. And I have two snacks because you know what? Today I called for two snacks. So I have one of my favorite, a scotcheroo. My mother-in-law made them for me. And I have to tell you, oh my goodness, it is one of my favorite snacks. Whether it is summer, winter, fall, it doesn't matter. And cheddar popcorn from Costco. So let's get real. I want to talk a little bit about questions and answers. Okay, I love when I hear from you. That is one of my favorite things, when I get to hear back from you. And I feel like there's been so much going on and so much in my life and so much in the world that I've been getting a lot of questions. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to answer some of these questions that maybe I have just talked about and then never come back to because life is going a little bit too quickly for me to get to everything. And so we're going to do a life debrief. A life debrief. How does that sound? Kind of weird. But that's okay. So, first of all, let's talk about my ministry. Just because I get a lot of questions about the ministry and it's kind of a confusing situation for some of you that don't really know. So my husband and I have been running a ministry called Christ Connection for 20 years now. It was our 20th anniversary back in July. And so we've been doing this for 20 years. We go and we preach. Most of the time it's my husband. Sometimes it's me. It kind of matters on what's going on. And he teaches on prayer. I teach on faith and life and whatever God puts on my heart. I'm a little more willy-nilly than he is, I think. If you know the two of us, you know I am much more willy-nilly than the two of us, out of the two of us. And we had a fantastic fundraiser in August. Things went really well. And it's because we do a fundraiser in August and a fundraiser in February every year. And every year I go, why am I doing this? I hate this so much. It is so not my thing. But God was faithful and things are going really well. We're booking into 2026 right now, which is pretty normal, but in February of 2026, we are going to Spain. We're speaking at a church in Madrid. We're going to be doing a lot of creating content and a lot of prayer things. It's going to be super fun, but we're going to take some time for ourselves and we're going to go across to Morocco. So you'll get an update on that later. But that's kind of what's going on with the ministry. I think I don't think we have any days in December, except if there's a Christmas tea. I will always make room for a Christmas tea for women. Let's just be real. I will always make room for that. But so that's enough about the ministry. Things are going really well. The podcast is going really well. We just really feel like we're walking into a new season. Is that a good way to put this? Like we're walking into a new season. Now, talking about walking into a new season, a lot of people, and I appreciate this, have asked me how it's going with being an empty nester. So that's a hard question to answer. It's just because it matters on the day. So today, I'm loving being an empty nester. Actually, our daughter was home yesterday. She surprised us and came home. Kevin was at a church and I was wiped, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. And so I stayed home and he was like, I'm going for this. And I was like, you do it because you have to preach. I don't. So, and I went and picked up our dog because we hadn't been home for over a week, like 10 days or something like that. And so we came home and I picked up the dog, came home, and my daughter was here. And I have to tell you, one of the things that is the most joyful thing is, first of all, she is doing phenomenal. Like, she has a friend, she's involved in stuff, school's going great, she's loving her classes, she's loving living in the dorms. Like, I don't think she would come home if we paid her at this point. Like, she is just absolutely loving. Okay, if we paid her, she might. The only thing she's not enjoying is the food. She's not enjoying the cafeteria. That is not going very well. But that's kind of what I've heard from many people that have gone to her school. that they're not huge fans of the cafeteria. So that is not something we're surprised by. She loves home cooked meals. That's, I don't feel bad about that. Like, right? I'm kind of like, oh, you miss my cooking. That's so sweet. I'm really glad. You know, just one of those really fun things from mom. But I'm loving the quietness of the house, and I'm loving the new pattern that we've kind of set, even though it's been really crazy lately. Kevin and I were alone for 10 years before she came along. And so I was really worried that this would be like, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. And yeah, there are days that I miss her terribly, but she is so good at like connecting and contacting and sending a little reminder here, a little reminder there, just to kind of stay in contact. It's been really nice. I miss our like nightly hour-long chats, but then when we get to the nighttime, I'm kind of okay that it's not happening because I'm getting more sleep. So, and I feel like the way I'm cooking has changed, so that's been really fun. So empty nesting is going really well in the Santa Pederatna house. Would I have her back in a heart? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Like, but it's so much easier when they're doing well and when they're enjoying what they're doing and when they're thriving. It is so much easier to enjoy yourself. And I really have. I've been like, don't worry about us. We're fine. We're having a good time. We haven't done anything crazy yet. But that's yet. Let's just put that there. Costco. So a lot of people have asked about Costco and about our car. Our car, I have fallen in love with the car. Like completely 100%. Don't make me drive something else. I absolutely have fallen in love with our big red beast. And it's so easy to find in the parking lot, which I'm loving. And our license plate is like so cute. I just love it. It's just so fun for me. Anyway, and it's just everything about it. Like the other day we were driving home and it was like a 5-hour drive or something like that. And I realized that my husband was like, it is so hot in here because it's dual sides and my side was like an ice box. My hands were, I touched him and I was like, my hands are like icicles over here. And he was on the other side sweating. And I thought, this is amazing because we are two totally different temperature people. And it has been so great because I can have an ice box and he can be in the sun and like, you know, be getting heat. It is just so fabulous. Loving our car. Costco. All right. Costco is a love, not so sure I still like it relationship because of the big food items. So I think I've been in Costco probably twice a week, maybe once a week since we've gotten it. I've done one grocery haul, and last time I think we went in like 3 times one week just to kind of go check things out, or we needed gas for different things. I like filled up the gas car in one and then filled up another car. And so we were looking at that and we went inside and did samples. And I think I bought one item. Like I bought that Big Bob, because I'm eating the popcorn today, the white cheddar popcorn. I bought a big bag of that and that was it. Like I just have not found my go-to items there yet. So I'm still trying. I think the samples will help. I haven't had a sample that I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to buy this yet. Like I haven't had one of those. But when I do, I will buy it because I do have my little freezer that is ready to go. And I'm also kind of like thinking about changing, and you don't care, we'll talk about that in another podcast. But Costco, still not a super huge fan. I mean, I love their gas and I love their samples and I love that they have Coca-Cola, but that's about what I found so far. So I'll keep going. I'll keep trying. I'm not giving up. I am not going to give up. Anyway, then also I've had a lot of people ask me about my Pastor's Wives event. So I'm just going to be like completely authentic and real on this podcast. And I probably will be a little more general in other areas. So here we go. I will be honest with you. The first inaugural Pastor's Wives event for Christ Connection was not what I expected. That's okay. I felt like I went in a little depleted because the week before the event, we had a event we attended for 5 days. And during those 5 days, it was serving coffee to different people around the world. So there was this big conference with people from around the world that met, and we had the opportunity to just serve. And it was so amazing. I loved every minute of it. I saw the sunrise, I saw the sunset, because you have to get up early for coffee, and that's not my jam, but it was amazing and I loved it. But I used every ounce of extrovert energy I had. So by the time we got to the Pastor's Wives event, I did not feel ready and I was not energized. So I feel like I kind of drug it down a little. Like I shared my heart, and my heart was kind of in a deep place. Not like I'm normally, when I lead things, I'm a little more lighthearted and fun, and I just didn't feel like I could get there for that event. We had 8 people come. We went up to the north part of Minnesota, and people came from all over. They drove hours to get there. So I am super grateful for that. Like, the people that showed up were the people I wanted to be with. It was just amazing with that. We did crafts, we had snacks. Like, the snacks weren't super great because I didn't get to home make them. That was kind of my bummer because I was gone all week. So I'm not a big fan of like serving stuff to people that is not homemade, but that's okay. So I just kind of felt a little disappointed about it on my end. I think that everyone enjoyed themselves. I mean, we did a ton of crafts and it was super fun that way. And we'll be praying for those, because we decided that when we started these, that every time we met, we would pray for that group of people for 6 months. And they would be people that would just get prayer. And my girlfriend, who has been in ministry longer than me, she is one of the most phenomenal women I know. And so she came with me to be a prayer partner. So she will be praying with me. So the 2 of us are going to be praying there. And I'm just really excited about that. So was it perfect? No, not at all. Did I learn a lot? I learned a lot. I learned about what I need, what I don't need. I am definitely a party planner. I actually was going to do that in my 20s. I was actually going to go do a course and learn how to party plan and like do weddings. And I actually started coordinating a wedding, and then the wedding got called off. So I don't think it's because of me though. I don't think it was my fault. Maybe it was, I don't know. And just kind of, it never really happened. Like, you know how life just, you're going down a road and all of a sudden like something stops you. And so I love a good party. Like, I love hosting a party. I understand that this was just a little different because I'm trying to follow God's heart in it. And so that just made it a little more unique. Will there be another one? Yes, there will. In fact, we're going to go back to the same area next year. They said that they would like me to come back, so I'm excited for that. And then I'm hoping to do one at my house this fall, and then I'm going to do 2 in the spring is my prayer. I don't know where they're going to be yet. I don't know what God's going to open up, but that's my heart for Pastor's Wives. I have been so overwhelmed by God's grace and love in the season of crazy busy. When you feel like life is going so fast, you don't even know what happened yesterday. Have you ever had those moments where you're like talking to someone and you're like, was that yesterday? Was that the day before? Was that last week? You know what? I did this sometime since I've talked to you. You have those moments. And I am preparing for a retreat this weekend. We're going to go to a church's retreat, and Kevin and I are both speaking. And God is stirring my heart in a really fun way about finding joy and rest in a season of craziness when things are just wild. And that is really what he's taught me this last few weeks. He has been teaching me that even at the retreat that I got up before the sunrise, like, guys, the sun came up when I was serving coffee. That doesn't happen in Jenny's world. Like, I am not a morning person. And it was just so amazing that God's strength stayed with me, and his peace that passes all understanding was with me during that time. It was not that big of a burden. And I know many of you that listen to this podcast have things going on in your life. And my prayer for you is that the peace of God, beyond understanding, will come into your life. And I want you to pray that this week for yourself, that God would bring peace that is hard to even understand because of all the chaos going on, and that he would step into your world and bring peace and comfort where you need it. Because I will tell you, there are days that empty nesting is not easy. And there are days that I miss Samantha horribly. And I am like, there was one day that we drove six hours from a church. We had 2 services at a church. We drove home for 6 hours, and we were home for just overnight. And the next morning we needed to move again on to the next place. And there was no dog in our house because picking up the dog for a couple hours didn't make a lot of sense. Shout out to my mom who takes the dog, and my sister, like, they take our dog almost all the time. And just thank you for taking him. But we were sitting in the house, and Kevin had already gone to bed, which is normal. And I was up, and I was like, the house is empty. It is just, there's no noise. And I just cried. I just sat here and cried. And I felt the Lord come into that moment and say, Jenny, I am here holding your tears. And I see this time, and you are not alone. So whoever needs that reminder today, I just pray that when you're crying, you know you're not alone. You know the Lord is there holding your hand and holding your tears and saying, I love you. Let me bring you peace. Well, that's all I have for you this week. It really was just a Jenny update. All the questions I've been getting asked. So if you keep asking questions, I'll keep answering them. Nothing profound this week, but that's okay. Keep listening. Tune in on social media, on Real Life with Jenny on Instagram and on Facebook. There is a Facebook group. There's a Facebook page. And Instagram is basically everything that you'll ever need to know. You can also support this podcast, and all the money does go to this podcast. And it is buymeacoffee.com/reallifewithjenny. I appreciate all of the people that have donated. I'm so excited because we're actually going to go to a convention, and we're going to have a Real Life with Jenny booth. I'm so excited. I'm giving away tea. So if you are in the Rochester area and you're going to Thrive, I will be there with tea, and I am so excited. It's going to be so fun. Anyway, you can also find me at christconnection.cc/Jen. All of my info is there also. Thank you so much for listening every single week, or even just once a month. You are the reason that I do this. You are just bring me such joy, and I just really appreciate when you listen. And even though this time was a little rambly, that's okay. Next week, I promise it will be about something specific. Well, maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, have a great week.